Hi, I'm Chris Oldland, editor of Field Service News. The topic of servitization is one that, whilst on the surface is essentially very manufacturing focused, is one that is heavily entwined with field service delivery. Servitization is something that is fundamentally dependent upon being able to deliver 100% uptime, so your service that you're offering in the field has to be incredibly efficient, incredibly productive and ahead of the game. The Spring Servitization Conference held at Aston Business School was a great example of seeing some companies come together with the academics to see how these trends are coming together and how the movement is growing. One company that's recently been on a servitization journey is mining organisation Metso. John Cullen of that organisation gave a keynote presentation and was kind enough to speak to us just ahead of going on stage. John, hello. You're going to be giving a presentation here at the Spring Servitization Conference a little bit later on. For the viewers at home, could you just perhaps give us a brief overview about what you're going to be talking about?
Okay, what I'm going to present today is about our personal company journey of servitization. So we're going to actually go through where we were before we started the process, why we actually made the changes and the steps that we've taken to do that. And I would say that at the moment we're sort of at the beginning of the process rather than the end of the process. So we've actually been going through a process of servitization within our company, so productization of the services, and now developing the material and rolling that out and changing the way we work. But it's a sort of journey that started about 3 years ago when our services unit was put into a separate unit. It had been attached to the different product businesses, and it was taken out and made into a separate unit that allowed us to have this focus on services.
And what was the driver to this move? I mean, was it something that was market-led? Was it something that your customers were pushing you towards? Or was it even something that you just, as an organisation, you felt that this was a move towards a better future?
I think there were multiple drivers. I think from a customer perspective, we weren't delivering to our customers everything that they wanted. So they were looking for us to take a more active role in their business processes and to support them. And we tended to be very much more reactive, so that we needed to actually bring out what we did better. But also, secondly, we had a lot of these sort of great service products within the company, but they weren't recognised because we weren't selling them as a sort of servitized product. We were just sort of coming up to our customers and saying, what problems do you have, and then saying we can fix it. So we really needed to change the way that we're doing things from being very reactive to proactive, and for us the reason was that it helps our business develop its revenue stream, but the second reason being that we actually also we deliver a better service to our customers.
And this move to servitization, within your vertical, is this something that you're leading the pack amongst your competitors? You're ahead of them, or are you playing catch up?
We're actually one of the leaders in our respective industries in this area. So particularly when we talk about mining and aggregates industry and the supply of equipment in those, supply and services of equipment in those industries, I would say we're towards the front of the pack, at least in the pieces that we serve.
And in terms of driving this decision forwards and this implementing this with it across the business, how have you actioned this? Let me put this to you in a twofold question, if I may. Would I be right in thinking that such a move has to be driven from the top, has to have executive level buy-in? But also, how has the man on the ground level, the field worker, the plant workers, etc., how have they reacted to the change? Because it's a big shift in thinking.
It's mainly been driven sort of top down from the executive level, and it basically has been as a result of changes in both shareholders and also senior management and changes that come in that have led to sort of new thinking and new ways of attacking the market.
And has there been any resistance from mid-level or below management and general workers? 'Cause it is a big shift.
I think That's a very difficult question to answer, because I think what I would say is I don't see people actively resisting the change. I think in Metso, when we presented these concepts, they've actually been embraced by our people. But one of the challenges is it's not about it's the changing of the way that you do your job and everything. So what we're asking people to do is throw away maybe 20 years way of doing things and think about things in a completely different way, and that's hard for anybody to do. So it's about a cultural shift. So the positives is that people are interested and they're eager and they do see the benefits, but actually doing it and changing the way that you've been doing things for so long is a difficult thing.
And one final question, John. In terms of how you've rolled this out to your customers, you mentioned at the beginning that you already had strong services products, as it were, or a strong service offering embedded within what you were doing anyway as standard. So how have you translated this out to your customers, and how did you approach which customers you would speak to first?
It's an approach that we're trying to put out to every company, but the practicalities of implementation is that you obviously have to start with a few customers in various territories and then actually develop it and develop the competence within your organisation to deliver this. But it's not something that we want to limit. It's actually a culture. We want to change the culture everywhere.
And that's John Cullen there from the Metso Corporation talking to us at the Aston Spring Servitization Conference. And remember, if you want to stay ahead of all the latest trends in field service, make sure you subscribe to fieldservicenews.com. You'll find more videos, articles and interviews from some of the leading thinkers in the industry. There's a whole raft of different resources, including white papers, webinars, podcasts and much more. But for now, thanks for watching. My name's Chris Oldland, I'm editor of Field Service News, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.